That was beautiful. So here I sit in one of my offices in front of my medicine bundle today. I feel like I want to say a little bit more about myself, and then we'll go into a prayer and we'll see what the divine has for us today. So for those of you that know me and know my work, know that the divine enters me in some kind of way and uses me as a vessel, a vehicle, using my life experience, academics to inform, to conceptualize, to construct, but pretty much kick me out of the way and delivers whatever message that's in the highest good for those that are listening today and those that will be listening in later, which is the beauty of technology, right? So the medicine bundle that is sitting behind me is holding specific medicine, specific healing energies for today and for this time of uncertainty that we're living in. It's funny, because we're always living in uncertainty, but we have a little bit of certainty about that for a long time. And then we have this global pandemic. And we'll talk a little bit about that maybe today, but it's mostly opportunity. It's complete divine opportunity for all of us. So with that said, before we go any further, if we can close our eyes, I'd like to invite the spirit guides at the four corners for protection and awakening. So please go ahead and close your eyes as I ask the spirit guide of the north to please enter and hold our space, all of the space sacred, so that our awarenesses and our love and our reach from our whole body can reach the Father Sky and stay in that union. Spirit guide of the south, we ask you to enter our space and hold the space of south energies, hold those doors in protection for all of us, so that we may always be grounded and solid from Mother Earth to Father Sky. Spirit guide of the east, we ask of you to hold our brain, our conscious, our intellect in awakened state so that it can always listen to the heart energies of the divine, but always be in navigation and clarity in the way that we need it each day. May you hold the east energies safe and protection for us. Spirit guide of the west, we ask you to hold the west energies in safety, protect us as all four corners are circled around the sacred hoop, and our mental, emotional, and spiritual state stays healthy and protected from any darkness. And as that sacred hoop enters the center, the nucleus of our heart, which is the creator, keep us safe and keep us all, whatever comes through today for those that are listening today and whatever they are participating, for each and every one of us to receive what we need in the highest good. May we hear only what we need to hear in the highest good. May it plant a seed and help us step forward in a more whole, more complete, more released, more transformed way as the Shifa of healing enters each and every one of us. Aho. Thank you. So please open your eyes and let's take a moment and see what the divine has in store. I still don't know. I've been interestingly uncertain until I guess this moment. So I'd like to welcome you to the journey of love. This is a journey of love. It's been spoken about, sung about already today. Unity holds that in their consciousness at all times. But this journey of love is what our birthright is. Our birthright, the reason we are here, is to self-actualize, to grow, to take a road to enlightenment, if you will, or ascension, or a higher consciousness. Whatever language resonates with you, it's all the same thing. But that is our birthright, this journey of love, this journey to reach these places. Wherever we come in, whatever our consciousness is at the time, it is our birthright, and we get to choose. So each of us, as I think most of the world now understands, to the beauty of science, right, in our beautiful current time, we live in a time where the mystical knowings and sayings and practices, the indigenous healings and knowings and practices are now being informed by current science. I love being in this world in this moment. I love that my path has brought me in this circle, because the way each thing validates and informs the other, for those of us that need information and need data, we have it. For those of us that resonate first from a feeling place, we have that. But it's all coming full circle into this sacred hoop. And why is that important? Because it brings us back to what is our birthright. We hold We hold in our tissues all of our past lives, if you believe in that. We certainly hold the epigenetic structure, the DNA blueprint of ancestors, at least we think, 64 generations, if not higher. We can break that DNA. People like Bruce Lipton, etc., talk about how we can change that epigenetic structure. We get to choose, but we don't always know that. And that's what love can bring us, the remembering of who we are. So we get to choose love, we get to choose suffering, we get to choose faith, we get to choose trust. Doesn't mean it's an even path. It's a roller coaster. It's like this. But we get to choose. And when we make a choice, as we understand with brain science, when we choose something, it directs the rest of us on a path. So if we choose love, if we choose healing, if we choose our birthright, that we want to be on a journey of love, then things start coming our way. We start seeing, experiencing them differently than we would have had we chosen something else. Because each and every moment is new. Each and every moment is a miracle. And why is it a miracle? Because the past doesn't exist, actually. It lives in our tissues. But in the vibrational ribbons of the universe, there is no past. There is a singularity. And our journey of love is the path to that singularity. What does that mean? It means the divine. It means God. It means oneness. Oneness is a word that the Sufis have used, the people like Rumi and their poetry. We talk about this journey of love. So let me step back. What does that mean? It means that in a world of strife, in a world of anger, in a world of suffering, where our tissues hold the collective memories of our past and the past of humanity. And those pretty much drive the bus. They drive us, and then we use our brain and our intellect to learn more and to study more and to read more. And for many, the reading can be applied somewhat, but there's a lot of frustration in terms of I should know that already, etc. This journey to love is about bringing that here, coming to the heart and finding faith, and finding the beloved of self, the beloved of the divine. So when we make that choice, it helps to understand that we are choosing to do our best to be here in faith rather than here. I've heard it said that the road to enlightenment starts with being in our mind and ends with being out of mind, which I just love that, And that's what we're choosing to do. If we choose the journey of love, we're choosing to put down the mind, not for when it's necessary. We need knowledge. Knowledge is fantastic. But knowledge alone can't awaken our oneness. Knowledge can inform that, give us parameters, give us constructs. We get to know that the brain can change when we're in prayer and meditation. That's exciting knowledge because it helps feed our faith. But just knowing that alone isn't enough, right? So how do we do that? So if we take that kind of information and we go back to the beginning of what's most important, our birthright. Our birthright is awakening. Our birthright is coming full circle back to ourselves, which is back to God, which is back to our expression. That we get, each of us are an expression of God, as if the leaves on a tree. We get to come back into the trunk, through the roots, into the seed. And that is what we are striving for those that choose that. But humanity as a whole is doing that anyway. So then we have the pandemic. It's a spiritual shakeup. We get very compliant. Humans, we just kind of mull along. We have our experiences. There's a lot of repeat in one way or another. And then the years just go by. And it isn't until there's a shakeout, to just literally shake us up, that we do this. And yes, there's the socio-political, socioeconomic aspects, which isn't our talk today. The spiritual piece is there has been, on a global scale, a pressure on humanity to find what's under the rocks for us as individuals, old hurts, old traumas, and it's erupting inside of us. I see it every day in my practice. It's been phenomenal. I've seen it in myself. I've seen that which is still unfinished just show up so big, exaggerated, if you will. And I truly believe that this pandemic time is about that accelerated pressure to bring forward in exaggerated ways things that are holding us back, things that are holding us away from our journey of love. And then we're seeing it happen all around us, the violence, the anger, the hurt. Of course, there's so much of that. But what do? We have to start here. We have to start in forgiveness of self. I believe, let me get the I out of here, sorry, corrected. The truth is water. Truth comes from the heart. When truth is lived, which is we are wounded, we have suffering. Suffering takes us out of grace. It takes us out of our heart. When we can hold truth, even though it may feel painful, excuse me, then it is like water and it washes it away. But water is a beautiful thing because it will clean and it will nourish. So as it's washing away that which our tissues and our collective has been holding forever, it waters the seed of new growth. It waters the seed of love and compassion. And it helps lead us to that path and how to do that. When we fall in love, when we totally fall in love with the beloved, with God that resides in our heart, then we are in full inspiration and truth, and we can't be in suffering. Suffering will come, it will show itself, we will honor that. I'm getting that this is correct. We will honor that. And like the water of truth, it will wash away and it will bloom further. The beautiful, beautiful roses and flowers and everything that is life. Now remember truth. When truth comes and it's watering the roses and it's watering the rose bush, this is from a story of a 13th century mystic that is being delivered. When it's watering the rose bush, it doesn't differentiate between the thorn and the rose. We do, because the thorn hurts us and we want to see the beauty of the rose. We make that distinction. But if the truth keeps coming and washing, both the thorn and the rose bloom, and eventually the thorn becomes a rose. We just have to stay in the truth. We have to keep the water flowing. So what's the easiest, best way to do that? Well, there's two things. We're talking about the one. We're talking about holding love. But what's the best way? So we were talking about children earlier, words you mentioned, Jennifer. If everyone who's participating, you can just close your eyes for a quick moment and connect to that time when you just felt your heart swell and love and grace and this wordless experience. It was pure joy, filled your body. For many, it's holding their baby for the first time, but there are many experiences. Meeting your true love where you feel completely out of mind. Allow that experience into your body. That is the expression of the beloved. And the best way to stay there is to sing to the one you love. When we're deeply in love, don't we constantly speak the name of our lover? When we're deeply in love, aren't we always, always in some kind of way in repeat of those moments and of that person or of that thing? When we can apply that to the God that lives in our heart, what happens is then we see God in everybody. We hear this all the time, but when it's a intellectual concept, it's not enough. It never worked for me. It helped me. oh, I shouldn't judge that person. That person's God. That's a huge first step. What if the thought never comes? What if the river of truth is overflowing in our heart and we have forgiven ourselves because those things no longer exist because they've been washed away with our love? So chanting mantras, and it doesn't have to be, we think of mantra, we think of Hindu terms like Om Namah Shivaya, which are very powerful words. Those are the words of the universe. But we could say whatever our connection to Creator is. Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Mother Earth, the sun. When it's, because it's all, right? So when we do it from here and we keep that going, the mantra tames the tongue and cleans up the mind. And when we can do that on a regular basis, so when I feel judgment, when I feel, on the road, or somebody's annoying me, or whatever, or somebody hasn't worn their mask, or they've worn their mask, whatever it may be, if I catch it, when I catch it, because it happens 30 to 50 times a minute. So when I catch it, if I can go into my beloved. Now, so I've been giving a teaching. The teaching's been coming through me for a while, and it seems we're going to do that today. It's a culmination of my spiritual teacher, Dr. Pillai, of ancient old Sufi mystics, 12th and 13th century, and indigenous process, and some secrets, some mystic secrets that I won't share the secrets, but we'll do them. So we're going to do that in a moment. When we choose grace, inspiration comes. Inspiration is truth, and it will guide us always to what to say, where to go, what to do, how to be, how to feel. In grace, in inspiration, which is in truth, all there is flow. All there is creation. All there is moving through in a way that allows clarity, sight, quiet in the body to achieve all that we need to. Material wealth, better relationship, better health, because truth will guide us. Suffering will not. Suffering will take us to the past. And then when we live in the past, only the past exists. The past becomes the present. The past becomes the future. In the world of oneness, there is the beloved, there is love, and that eradicates the past, creates a new future based on our desires. So if we can remember that sounds, in the beginning there was the word, and singing the beloved, so just say however and whoever resonates for you, whatever creator, God that you connect with, say the name from your heart all the time. And then I'm going to give you an exercise to change the brain from the past, bring us into the heart. But literally, we know that these sounds will completely eradicate old patterns of trauma thoughts and awaken new thoughts. So back here is the cerebellum, and that's where compassion lives in our brain, and it's connected to our heart. So for 3 minutes, we're going to do this chanting. So if everybody could please close your eyes. Now I can't see you, so follow me. Take a deep breath and just kind of land into your heart space and feel back in your cerebellum some light energy starting to come. Now the beauty of medicine people that are channeling in the divine that's speaking through me is they are energetically doing healing vibrations to anybody whenever they are part of this. So you will feel a pulse in your cerebellum, and you will feel your heart. Now just sit with that for a moment. Now I'm going to ask you to open your eyes one more time and look at me because you're going to have to watch this. So we're going to say Om, but we're splitting it into the Ah, Om, the first syllable and the second syllable. We start in the heart, we go left, we go right. So I'm going to do it 3 times. You watch me. I'm going to watch the clock. We're going to do it for 3 minutes, okay? So, Om, Om, Om. So the movement, the sound, and all the elements combined, you now get to be the master of awakening that beloved energy. So work with me. Close your eyes. Start in your heart. Then you go left. And I will watch 3 minutes. Om, 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 This secret, which in combination of pieces from the greatest masters that I'm so privileged and honored to be able to share, will change your life. When you feel judgment, when you feel resentment, when you feel the trauma come forward, when you feel old thoughts of separateness from others, remember that when we choose grace, when we choose inspiration, when we choose love, then all of that past goes away and we get to create a new now, a new tomorrow. And most importantly, it takes us out of the suffering. I have to assume most of you felt something different in your body. So the trick is, if you could do that 3 minutes a day, and whenever you feel those old thoughts coming, just inside of yourself, just start Om, Om. Rewire our own brains. We have the power. And when we change, the world changes. So on this journey of love, I thank you for joining me today. Because just remember, it will give us immediate truth, which is self-compassion, compassion for others, and a joy in our hearts that we are here to seek, that is our birthright. So I want to thank all the beings that came through and helped here today. I want to thank all of you for joining today and whenever you join. And please know that all things are possible and divine difficulties are purposeful. So I thank you at the bottom of my heart. Shanti, peace, aho.